Before beginning my formal address, I'd like to talk a little bit about setting a context. In the past, this event provided an opportunity for an update on initiatives underway across the university. It provided an update and a venue through which our office gave a State of the University address, Part 2. But in consultation with your staff leadership, we've decided to take a different focus this year. This afternoon is an opportunity for us as a university to celebrate our staff. It's an opportunity for us as a university to celebrate our students, but it's an opportunity for all of us to reflect upon those individuals who have made lasting and lifelong contributions to the place that we call home. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to share some stories with you today, but I also would like to thank Staff Senate President Josh Whitlock, and I would also like to recognize former Staff President Lisa Belcher for her leadership during the past year. Lisa, it's been an honor to work with you. I thank you for all that you have done for our institution. I thank you for all that you have done to promote and advance the work of the Staff Senate. Please join me in a round of applause for her contributions. Dr. Collins talked about woolly worms. As a point of note, this time last year, we were anticipating costs and other items associated with the onset of the change of the seasons. And he kept referring to the Farmer's Almanac and the woolly worms. He said, Dr. Nolan, I'm telling you, there's something in these woolly worms. He was right last year. Let's hope that that doesn't carry forward for a second year in a row. But it's almost beyond fathom to think we're discussing the change in the seasons. It's beyond comprehension to think we're now in our 6th week of the academic year, and our students across the university are preparing for and taking midterms. In some ways, we've settled back into our normal routines, but the energy and excitement that surrounds our university at the start of the fall semester is still very much alive. As we've transitioned into the fall, I don't know about you, but something just feels different. Maybe it's been the fact that we've had Chamber of Commerce postcard weather almost every day, but something this semester just feels different. There's a richer sense of energy, enthusiasm, and excitement about our university than I've felt or that many in the community have felt for a long time. Colleges transform individuals, but great universities transform communities. And you'd be hard-pressed to find another university in the South or across the country that has a more significant impact on its community than we do here at ETSU. We educate our region's teachers, nurses, small business owners, bankers, and physicians. Our students and faculty and staff assist small business owners in their startup operations. We volunteer in local schools, serving as mentors to children across the region. We assist our K-12 partners with professional development, principal leadership, and training. We provide access to health care for the underserved. We bring world-class music, art, and cultural opportunities to Appalachia. We conduct research on critical healthcare challenges that face the region. We run museums that bring excitement and a deepened history in our rich history, and a deepened interest in our rich history. But most important, we remain steadfast in our commitment to transforming the lives of the people of this region. I like to say we're not a city on the hill, but we're the people who built the hill. We're an institution who has throughout its history been dedicated to serving the people of East Tennessee. And if you were to draw a 30-mile circle around our current location, within that circumference, 85% of the population who holds a baccalaureate degree receives that degree from East Tennessee State University. Graduation begins each day that we walk onto this campus. It begins every day that students come into your office for advising, for assistance, for questions about financial aid or transcripts, or ask for help in utilizing the services of the library. Every individual in this room, every staff member across this campus is part of the collective journey towards graduation. You make our campus look beautiful. You plan activities and events for our students throughout the academic year. You advise students. You keep our campus safe. You travel to schools across the region providing outreach and education about financial aid. You raise money for scholarships. You provide staff support for our faculty members. You process tuition and payments. But most importantly, you point our students in the right direction. You're there when our students need help. Every May in December, we witness the realization of a dream, and that's the dream of a receipt of a college degree. Every time our students walk across that stage and realize that dream, they're doing so because of the individuals in this room who assisted them at every part of the journey. We've been helping students across Appalachia realize their dreams since our foundation in 1911. And I want to talk a little bit about some of the individuals who've provided that foundation of support and excellence. Mention the name Dorman Stout to anyone associated with ETSU, and the reaction is always the same: respect and admiration. The Stout family has a long association with our university. Dorman Sr. taught sociology, and he did it so well that his colleagues named a building for him, Rogers Stout Hall. There was no question where his son would go to school. Dorman Jr. earned a bachelor's degree from East Tennessee State College in 1952. When he came back to our campus as an employee after earning a master's degree from Columbia and a doctorate from Florida State, he remembered what it was like to be a student, and he quickly developed a reputation as a supreme student advocate. As a faculty member, as the director of financial aid, as assistant dean of students, as dean of students, and then as vice president for student affairs, he kept student concerns and welfare at the forefront. Truly, he is one of the most beloved figures in the history of our university. He's remembered as one of the loudest cheerleaders at athletic events. He's remembered for singing the alma mater at hundreds of dinners and events across the region. And if you've not had a chance to be in the room when he sings the alma mater, you've missed out on one of the true joys of this university. He's remembered for working hand in hand with the SGA to plan homecoming, meeting virtually every week with students all summer long. In retirement, his affection for his alma mater remains as strong as ever. He and his wife Betty still reside in Scholars Hollow on the south side of the city, just minutes away from campus. He has been called the epitome of the Southern gentleman and the ultimate buccaneer. Just across the street from Dorman lives Jean Copeland. 7 days after receiving her college degree at Tennessee Tech, she came to work in the business office at East Tennessee State in the middle of wartime in 1942. The office was without a leader. Jean took over the job without a title, pledging to stay here for a year. She's still here in Johnson City. During the war, she processed refunds for students called to combat duty. Some she would meet again. Others made the ultimate sacrifice on the battlefields, in the air, and on the seas. Once the war was over, Jean worked hard to help newly discharged veterans transition back to the college classroom. While her husband Tommy taught biology, Jean quietly worked the system, translating rules and regulations and policies into accommodation and acceptance for students of various economic backgrounds who sought the benefits of post-secondary education. Long before access became a common term in higher education, Jean lived it, she preached it, and she opened the doors of access to students across this region. Going back into the history of the university much farther, let me tell you about another person who had a deep and lasting impact on the life of this campus for more than 40 years. He didn't sit behind a desk or at a board table. Instead, he fed the bodies and souls of the East Tennessee State campus for over 4 decades. Beginning in 1915, just 4 years after the opening of the East Tennessee State Normal School. Long before there was Aramark, there was Hyder Bundy. He nourished the campus not only with the food he prepared, but also with the wisdom he dispensed. In the 40s and 50s, President Dossett, a Democrat, often relied upon Chef Bundy for political advice and help in forging good relations among the African American community in the area. It was common for President Dossett to seek advice in the campus kitchen, along with a piece of the chef's impeccable apple pie. Chef Bundy fed the campus through the Great Depression, and when it got so bad here that faculty and staff went months without a paycheck, he literally knew everyone on campus, and the 1955 yearbook dedication gave him the ultimate compliment, describing him as a counselor and a friend to every student. Those words, counselor and friend to every student, also describe a longtime ETSU staff member who, in just over a month, will retire after 37 years of service. Dr. Sally Lee came to ETSU in 1978 as the Student Development Coordinator, and she has worked in our Student Affairs Division her entire time on campus. She's worked with Greek organizations, our orientation programs, and since 2000 has been the advisor for the SGA. She also helped to plan our centennial celebration, served in leadership roles for the CPA and our Student Activities Center, and has stayed up all night with our students to help with our Relay for Life event. But by far, one of her greatest legacies is our preview program, which she helped start in 1983 and has been involved with ever since. Dr. Lee, I'm going to miss you. I'm particularly going to miss you during preview because preview bears your heart and soul. There are lots of people who have had an impact on this university, many of whom I did not have the honor to work with, but it has been my honor to work with you and to watch the wonderful things that you do with our students on a daily basis. Sally, thank you for all that you do for ETSU. As I mentioned a few moments ago, we have an amazing public safety team who works to keep our students, our employees, and our campus safe. Let me share with you a little bit about those officers, and about one of those officers in particular. You've seen her around campus, patrolling the sidewalks on foot and on bicycle. She loves being out, interacting with our students, and being accessible when needed for help. She even has an office in Centennial Hall when students may drop by and ask questions. But what ETSU Public Safety Officer Amanda Worley is perhaps best known for, both on and off campus, is her service as the Tennessee State Director of RAD, the Rape Aggression Defense Program. Through RAD, she teaches women how to be aware of their surroundings and alert for warning signs of danger, and trains them in basic self-defense techniques that could possibly save their lives. She's also passionate about sharing the message of the RAD program that she not only offers here at ETSU, but she leads and assists with workshops at Tusculum College, Walter State, and Northeast State Community Colleges, area Girl Scout troops, community centers, and churches. The best part of my job is I have the opportunity to tell your stories, to meet with individuals across the region, to meet with senators. Today we had the opportunity to tell the stories of folks in the financial aid office with Senator Lamar Alexander. But the best and most rewarding part of my position is the chance to serve with you. We do beautiful things. There's not another university in this country that impacts the region to the extent that we do. There's not another public university in this state that has a more beautiful campus than ours. There's not another institution that cares more for its people than we do at ETSU. As with any institution, we make mistakes. Lord knows I've made enough in my 3 years here. But I thank you for your patience with me. I thank you for your patience together as we move this university forward. There are wonderful things happening at ETSU. Walk across campus, look into the eyes of your students. There are wonderful things happening here every day because of you, because of the sacrifices that you make, because of the time that you take away from your family at home to be a part of the lives of your ETSU family. So as we move into the close of this fall and prepare for December, remember those benefits from a perspective of students. When students walk across that stage and receive their degree, they do so because of you. And in May, when students do likewise, they do so because of you. Small things make a difference. And what may seem trivial at the time could be transforming to the student that you assisted down the road. On behalf of everyone at this institution, our almost 15,000 students and our 2,300 faculty and staff, I thank you for all that you do for East Tennessee State University. Godspeed to everyone, and go Bucks.